Irish guy, and lads, the Champions League last 16 draw has been made. And do you know what's weird? There's actually some mouth-watering glamour ties in the Europa League. I mean, how has that happened? Does somebody want to explain to me how Club Brugge versus Benfica is a Champions League knockout match, while Manchester United versus Barcelona is in Europe's second tier? It makes no sense to my brain. I mean, it's like seeing Mayweather and Pacquiao fighting on the undercard for a celebrity beef between Bieber and Liam Payne. Just, what? I don't want to be mean, but who wants to spend 2 hours watching Club Brugge? I would sooner watch a box set of Neighbours with my nan, and she usually just spends it spitting at the TV. But listen, I will concentrate on the Champions League for today. I mean, I realize that the ties are 3 months away, and after an actual World Cup and a transfer window. So me trying to predict this outcome so far in advance, it's been like me trying to predict who's going to win the Oscars in 2023 before I've actually seen any of the films. And I mean, knowing my excellent prediction skill, for Best Picture, I'd probably predict Legally Blonde 3 or the sequel to Magic Mike, when in reality, there's more chance of me giving birth to a seal. But go on, let's get on with it then. Let's predict the last 16. Right, let's go. And by the way, that's so close to 150k. Will you be the one to get us there? Hit that red subscribe button, you absolute legend. Anyway, back into the video. AC Milan versus Tottenham. Lads, can we take a minute to appreciate that AC Milan are actually playing knockout football in the Champions League? I mean, after so many years in the wilderness, this has been like watching a recovering alcoholic managing to have Christmas dinner with his mum without having to excuse himself every 7 minutes to sneak into the toilet and drink wine. I mean, Milan are finally back in an actual Champions League meaty competition. Not only that, but they've got their hands on Tottenham again. I mean, lads, there's no remember back in 2011 when the great AC Milan, with Thiago Silva and Alessandro Nesta at the back, Zlatan Ibrahimovic up front, they still exited the Champions League to a team coached by Harry Redknapp. I mean, when you've won 7 European Cups to then get dumped out of the thing by the likes of Jonathan Woodgate and Peter Crouch, I'm pretty sure those proud Milanistas must have left the San Siro that night having watched their defense get torn apart by Aaron Lennon. Oh, they must have felt like squirting pancake cream into their eyes. So how is this matchup going to be 11 years later? It's going to be a story of revenge. I reckon they're going to win. I'm sorry, but Tottenham in the Champions League are about as convincing as a bowl of shreddies fished out of the loo. I mean, they're not winning this match. I mean, I know, okay, against Chelsea, Milan put up all the fight of a three-legged squirrel underneath the wheel of a car. I mean, lads, Potter hadn't breezed through such an easy task since that time he got off one of the Weasley boys on the Gryffindor couch. I only skimmed through the books. I'm going for a narrow Milan win in the first leg. The likes of Sandro Tonali is going to utterly run the midfield. Rafael Leao will terrorise Matt Doherty to within an inch of his life. Honestly, after the first leg, the Dubliner is going to be walking off that pitch with a critical migraine and a desperate need to eat a Big Mac whilst crying in bed. It'll be a 2-0 first leg win for Milan. And then sure, Tottenham will rally in the second leg. I mean, they'll even go 2-0 up in London before, lads, our returning Zlatan Ibrahimovic will come off the bench to snatch a late crucial goal for Milan. Honestly, 2-0 win in Italy, a 2-1 defeat in London, but still, AC Milan are going through with a 3-2 aggregate win. Next, PSG versus Bayern Munich. I mean, this is the most mouth-watering glamour tie in the list, right? I mean, if you're PSG, then surely when this draw was made, you must have felt like angrily kicking your fridge. I mean, last season, they were given Real Madrid in the last 16. In 2018, they were also given Real Madrid in the last 16. The year before that, they were given Barcelona in the last 16. And they lost every time. What they would give for a Club Brugge or an Eintracht Frankfurt. Just an easy game to sink their teeth into. But now instead, just like last year, you've been given a tie with one of the tournament's favourites. That's the very thought of this match would make you drool all over your shoes. I mean, to be fair, okay, I realise this was actually a Champions League final 2 years ago. And I know that game was so incessantly dull. It was a bit like watching Avatar or a tape of your grandmother doing a poo in your bed. No thanks. But I still think this tie will be everything that final was not. I mean, Lionel Messi is back on form. 12 goals and 14 assists in 18 matches. So don't think for 1 second that Julian Nagelsmann will not be quaking with fear. But what's even weirder is that ex-Stoke misfit Eric Choupo-Moting, someone who missed a sitter for PSG in that Champions League final, well, so far, he's got 10 goals in 14 matches for Bayern this season. I'm sorry, what? And here was me thinking he was just a Stoke flop with all the finishing ability of a puddle of goat piss. Everyone is tipping Bayern Munich to crush PSG like an ant. But let me ask you this. When was the last time PSG lost a game? Well, Christophe Gaultier is yet to lose a single match as PSG boss, and he's been there 6 months. Nobody has seen PSG lose since March. I mean, since exiting last season's Champions League to Real Madrid, they've only lost 1 game since. I mean, come on! I think PSG will blow Bayern Munich away in Paris. The likes of Neymar, Mbappe, and Messi will absolutely overpower their defense. I'll go with a 4-2 first leg win for PSG. This is going to be Messi's best game in a PSG shirt. 2 assists and a goal. He's going to absolutely terrorize Bayern. I'll go a step further. This is going to be the greatest PSG performance of their moneybags era. Actually, no. No, come to think of it, that's probably always going to be when they stomped Barcelona 4-0 in 2017, right? It's just, nobody remembers that one because they absolutely melted like an Easter egg in the second leg. But here, this will be the platform where they can finally show that yes, PSG in the Champions League have finally found some bottle. The ability to actually defend a first leg lead. And then in Germany, yeah, I mean, Bayern will battle back and scramble a late 1-0 win. It'll be a late Choupo-Moting header to give them some hope, but it won't be enough. And PSG will be through. I promise you, we are about to witness an absolute Messi masterclass in February. But it's more the grit and battling performance that they'll show in the second leg. That's what's going to be Gaultier's legacy. I mean, the likes of Marco Verratti and Vitinha are going to dig in and utterly scrap for their lives in that second leg midfield. I mean, it's going to be tasty. Bayern are going out to a team who finished second in their group. Lads, I realize this is a call. Everyone, and I mean everyone, thinks that Bayern are going through with ease, which is mental. How can 0% of people believe in a team with Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi? I mean, give it 10 years, and those guys will probably have a combined 10 Ballon d'Ors. Well, I mean, 2 of them will. I think the only way Neymar's winning that award now is if he bribes the judges with his daddy's credit card. But listen, I know Bayern Munich are monsters on paper, but lads, don't forget, Lagos and his men were dumped out of the Champions League last season by Villarreal. He was tactically outwitted by the guy who currently coaches Aston Villa. I mean, the previous season, they'd lost to PSG. They are not unstoppable. I mean, lads, not a single one of Bayern Munich's attacking players will get into this PSG team. And I'm saying that knowing full well that Sadio Mane came second in the Ballon d'Or. But he still wouldn't get a look in. I'm sorry, but am I the one who thinks Nate knows that PSG are winning this tie? To me, it's obvious. I mean, do I need to shake someone by the shoulders to make you understand? Bayern Munich, everyone's favourites, are not actually as good as you all think. I mean, last April, they lost to Villarreal, a team which were essentially a bunch of North London hand-me-downs. PSG are going to absolutely roast Bayern on toast. Borussia Dortmund versus Chelsea. This should be light work for Chelsea and Graham Potter. I mean, come on lads, last season, Borussia Dortmund were dumped out of Europe by Rangers, conceding 4 goals at home. I mean, what? Listen, Dortmund did okay to get through their Champions League group, but look at their results. Were they really convincing? It was all very sloppy. No, they were just lucky that Sevilla are in crisis. 9 points would not have got them out of any other Champions League group. Really, 9 points is what should have had you chucked into the Europa League. So being given a match with Chelsea, oh, sorry lads, but Erden Terzic, he's got no chance here. I mean, let me get this straight. This is a Champions League face-off between the former boss of Swansea and a failed West Ham assistant coach. Oh, how mouth-watering. It all feels very rookie. I mean, instead of sharing a pre-match bottle of wine and discussing legendary football stories of the past, it'll probably just be what? The 2 of them building Lego whilst drinking Capri Sun. They're 2 inexperienced managerial babies. Listen, Dortmund will huff and puff in the first leg, and the British media will just spend the entire match just staring at Jude Bellingham. I mean, lads, can you imagine if he has a good World Cup? Yeah, the British commentators are going to be obsessed with him. I mean, you'll have Sky reporters camped in his lawn. You'll have journalists from The Athletic rummaging through his bins. But yeah, it'll be a stale 0-0 draw in Germany before Chelsea easily slaughter them 3-0 in London, with Raheem Sterling on the double. Honestly, lads, easy light work. Club Brugge versus Benfica. Surely there's a tie between the 2 surprise packages in Europe, right? I mean, who expected Benfica without Darwin Núñez to be this good? That was supposed to be a monstrously tough group, and yet they still finished 11 points ahead of Juventus. I mean, what is going on? And similarly, Club Brugge, you've got an apparent milkshake of a goalie between the sticks in Simon Mignolet, and yet 5 clean sheets? I mean, Belgian teams aren't supposed to be this good. They're supposed to know their place as an annual Champions League laughing stock. How? This should be Atletico Madrid versus Benfica, not Club Brugge. Well, actually, no, now that I come to think of it, it should be Atletico Madrid versus Juventus. I mean, how is this happening? happened. But lads, just like PSG, Benfica are unbeaten this season too. I mean, not only that, but they've already won 20 games of football. To think they needed 2 Champions League playoff rounds to even qualify for this competition this year. I mean, lads, Roger Schmidt, he's only been in the door 2 minutes from PSV, but I think we all can tell he's the next in vogue coach who's about to be offered big fat jobs in the Premier League. And to think only 3 years ago he was getting sacked in the Chinese Super League. Lads, Club Rouge will try and keep things tight in Belgium, but still, Benfica are absolutely going to blow them out of the sink. 3-0 Benfica win in Belgium before absolutely flattening them 5-0 at home. Yeah. I'm going for an 8-0 aggregate win. Sorry, Bruges, but you're about to be exposed. Surely this is where your fairy tale runs out of steam. You're going to get absolutely bullied. It's going to be ugly. Absolutely ugly. Which is what my mum used to say about my school photos. To be fair, she had a point. Eintracht Frankfurt versus Napoli. Oh, Eintracht Frankfurt, this is not a kind draw. But listen, on paper, Napoli are historically Champions League bottle jobs. They've never ever gone further than a Champions League last 16, as they're even given a comfy 3-1 first leg lead over Chelsea in 2012, and then came up against a tactical Sherbert Lemon and Robert Di Matteo in the second leg, and still couldn't get the job done. I mean, this has to be their moment, right? If Napoli still don't get to taste the quarterfinals now, after being handed a draw with a bang average German side who needed penalties to see off a team from Scotland in the Europa League final, if they don't manage to overcome Frankfurt, then I'm sorry, it's a bottle job. And that is what I'm actually going for. Listen, calm down, Frankfurt. I do not rate your team, but I'm just looking at football heritage. I mean, last season, Napoli had a bit of hype as well. A lot of people thought they'd win the Europa League. I thought they'd beat Barcelona. Now, they lost 4-2 at home. That was a bottle job. And here, listen, February's a long way away, and the pressure of a Serie A title race might have absolutely fried their brains. I mean, can you imagine if they start to lose their grip on top spot? They could realistically wobble and implode. You know what? I'm gonna go for a 1-0 Frankfurt win in Germany. And then at home, in Italy, they'll huff and puff, but I'm gonna go for a 2-2 draw. Listen, I want to make it clear, I do not rate Frankfurt at all. They began this tournament by losing 3-0 home to Sporting Lisbon. But I must make it clear, I didn't really rate Villarreal last season in the Champions League either. And they nearly reached the final. I mean, lads, last season, Villarreal, they lost to Manchester United twice. Once when they were coached by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and the other when they were coached by Michael Carrick. Trust me, they were not anything special. And neither are Frankfurt, but Napoli are Champions League bottle jobs. And yeah, trust me, I think they're going out. Liverpool versus Real Madrid. Oh, Liverpool. They did not want this match. Let's be perfectly clear. I'm sure when this draw was made, poor Liverpool fans must have flung their lasagna off the wall. I mean, Real Madrid, the team which just beat them in a Champions League final. A team who knocked them out in 2021, and the team who beat them in the 2018 Champions League final too. Sure, I mean, the idea of revenge must sound sweet, right? But, I mean, I thought that was the objective in May, and yet, you still didn't win. It was like Django Unchained. If Django had all the balance of a donkey on ice, I mean, within the first 20 minutes of the film, Jamie Foxx would have probably shot off his own ear. Listen, this is a monster tie, but it can be done. Real Madrid can't lose. I mean, they've already lost twice this season, both by a scoreline of 3-2 against RB Leipzig and last night, Rayo Vallecano. But here's the good news. Historically, as a club, Real Madrid have actually, surprisingly, often fallen at the first knockout hurdle. Since 2005, Real have been knocked out in the last 16 8 times, including laughably 6 times in a row. I mean, lads, don't forget, even 3 years ago, Ajax were giving a daunting last 16 tie with Real Madrid, and yet absolutely bullied them off the park. So Liverpool, you can do this. It's not impossible, but I think Madrid are going to arrive at Anfield and chuck in a defensive masterclass. Darwin Núñez will hit the post, Salah will smack the crossbar, and so yeah, 0-0. And then in the second leg, it'll be another tight match. I'll go 1-1, a late Núñez header to salvage extra time, and yeah, it'll go to penalties. And well, we've seen the Liverpool side in penalty shootouts, mostly against Chelsea last season. Twice, I mean, they are peerless under pressure. I can just see it in my mind's eye. Luka Modric is going to have a penalty saved by Alisson, and Liverpool will show their nerve to win 5-4 on pens. Honestly, it'll be close, but lads, just you watch. Liverpool are going through. Inter Milan versus Porto. Inter Milan versus Porto. Lads, this is basically a matchup between two sets of supporters who get to argue about who loves Jose Mourinho more. Lads, I mean, can I get a ticket to this match? Just to be part of a Mourinho loving? Listen, I know Inter have done well in Europe this season, but don't forget, they're 7th in Serie A. The Champions League is the only thing saving Simone Inzaghi's job. While Porto, I mean, they've recovered well from losing 4-0 at home to Club Brugge. But let's be honest, this is an average Porto team. I mean, the sale of Luis Diaz in January has just sort of completely neutered the team's spark. So yeah, Romelu Lukaku will be back to full fitness for this tie, and I reckon he'll score twice in a 2-0 home win before Inter grind out an entertaining 2-2 draw in Portugal. 4-2 aggregate win for Inter Milan. Just you watch. RB Leipzig versus Man City. Man City are about to have a scare. Pep Guardiola is about to take his men to travel to RB Leipzig, and they're going to lose. Lads, Leipzig are a tricky team. I mean, they just beat Real Madrid when they're on form. They're incredibly tough to beat. I reckon City will have an early red card. So yeah, Kyle Walker. Timo Werner is going to run you into the floor, and Christopher Nkunku will score twice in a 2-1 home win. I mean, that is if he hasn't since moved to Chelsea. But yeah, don't get too excited because, yeah, in the second leg, Man City will beat you 5-0. So 6-2 aggregate win. So yeah, relax Leipzig, you'll get a pretty famous home win. That'll be a nice little night for you. But yeah, you're still gonna get absolutely spanked. Anyway, so what do you think? Let me know what do you think. Let me know in the comments. What are your predictions? Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, always. I'll talk to you in a while.